Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on the show. It's the Conversation on Lagos Television. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. How was your weekend? Adibimpe Joy.
Good morning, everyone. I am Adibimpe Omotayo.
I am Joy Olu. Welcome to the conversation.
Because we're in the spirit of Ramadan, let me first of all say Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim brothers and sisters, especially Abimbola and Adibimpe. And I was expecting Adibimpe to at least add Hidayat to her name because of Ramadan. Then you came in this morning and I challenged you that Adibimpe, are you really fasting?
I'm fasting, no. I've been fasting since Saturday. This is the third fast.
If you say so.
You know, the energy is a bit low.
Okay.
You know, unlike my other Mondays.
Why is your energy low today?
I don't know.
I know there are so many factors responsible for that.
You know, I don't ordinarily.
But it's a new month.
I don't like Monday. I don't like Monday. You have to brighten
up and be hopeful that what you have been expecting since January
please.
Might possibly come in March.
Like what? New minimum wage. That's the only thing that can brighten.
I didn't say that.
That's the only thing that can brighten me up. Aside that, the spirit is very
correct me
low.
if I'm wrong. It appears that this year is too fast.
It's very fast.
Yes,
I like it.
It loops so fast.
I like it. I like it. I like the fact that it's very fast. This month of Ramadan too will go so swiftly, and you know, by April we're done.
In fact, I was discussing with the makeup artist. I said, it was just like yesterday we said Happy New Year, and we're already in March today.
And before you know, it will be April, May, and then we're in the middle of the year. And then that will be June.
Christmas
so for those who are at the beginning of the year, had one, what is it called now? Resolution or the other, how far have you gone with your New Year resolution, especially those who were drifted away by what they got in November, December, January, and because of that, they entered into that different kind of contribution, and by last month, reality dawned on them when they saw their pay slip.
Who are the people you are talking to?
Those that have received the
to whom it may concern.
Yes, okay, let's just leave it like that. To whom it may concern. JP. Ahmed.
They know themselves.
How markets? Solomon. How markets?
Okay, so talking more seriously now, you know, there were a lot of drama over the weekend. Rivers, Lagos, the Senate, and in my mind, I was like, what is happening to the politics of Nigeria?
Okay, Ajibola. Nigeria is a country, as we said, with all sorts of drama. The Senate, are we talking about the Natasha Akpabio one? Everybody is now suing their spouses.
One another, yeah.
You know, spouses are also coming out to defend their own. I just hope that all this drama in the Senate will die down, and they can face why they are there. Why they are there. It is always the people that will continue to suffer when issues that concern them are put aside, and you're
treating issues that we don't even understand.
I would label it frivolities. Frivolities. And in Lagos, that will be our topic on this side of.
So let's save that for
that.
And in Rivers, I also want to save Rivers.
You save Rivers.
Our topic for today. Then I look at the governor of Rivers State yesterday. He was looking sober. He was looking humble.
He was humble. I just
honestly hope, interesting times in Nigeria.
I just hope that the Supreme Court has a final say, and the governor of Rivers State has succumbed to the judgment of the Supreme Court. I hope elsewhere, when the court gives its ruling, they will also follow it. Elsewhere, I'm not mentioning this title. I just hope elsewhere.
To whom it may concern.
All right, let's quickly take our news points on the program today. And then charity, they say, begins at home. So let's start with Lagos.
All right. Lagos Assembly crisis. Fresh moves to return Obasa commence. The leadership crisis rocking the Lagos State House of Assembly yesterday took a new twist as this news medium uncovered fresh moves to return Mr. Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker. The House has been in crisis following the removal of Mr. Obasa and former clerk of the House, Olalekan Onafeko, by 32 lawmakers on the 13th of January 2025 and elected Mrs. Mojisola Meranda as the substantive speaker. Multiple sources close to the presidency and other principal actors in the crisis told this medium that overtures have been made to legislators to soft pedal and support the embattled former speaker. This news medium was also informed that members of the Governance Advisory Council, GAC, were also asked to rein in the anti-Obasa lawmakers. This followed the disbandment of the Bisi Akonde Committee over its findings on the matter. This medium further learned that the committee was disbanded owing to the report it submitted after its visit that the odds were against Obasa. The president had set up a high-powered committee of the party led by Bisi Akonde and members including Aremo Olusegun Oshoba, former APC National Vice Chairman, Southwest Pius Akunye-Lure, and others to resolve the crisis. It further gathered that after the disbandment of the Akonde Committee, members of GAC were asked to rein in their loyalists in the assembly and execute to back Obasa. It's a long read. Let me jump to this. This says courts may decide Obasa Miranda's fate. So another source has said that if the strategies to rein in the anti-Obasa fail to scale through, the presidency and party leaders are considering allowing the court to resolve the crisis. Sources in the presidency said, and I quote, "The president is insisting Obasa must return, but the assembly members are also throwing their weight behind Miranda. The two camps do not want to shift grounds. As it is, the court will decide who the speaker is, and you know how judicial process works. It will move from the High Court to Appeal Court and from there to the Supreme Court. The court will decide." The embattled former speaker had dragged Miranda, the assembly, and 36 lawmakers to court, challenging his unlawful removal. Anyway, the assembly staff has been asked to work from home indefinitely. It's a long read.
The way things are falling apart, whether we like it or not, when two elephants, when they fight,
the grass suffers.
Yeah. So the grass now that is bearing the brunt are the masses, are the electorate who gave their mandate to these people to go and represent them in the business of lawmaking, make laws that will move Lagos forward. But now we have seen that all the parties involved, their major concern now is their personal gains, their selfish gains. And the people are the ones that are going to suffer all this drama that we are witnessing in the Lagos state, that we are witnessing in the Lagos State House of Assembly. And why the party leadership cannot really bring all the warring parties together is what I really do not know. Whether we like it or not, let's call it a spade, is a dent on the political image of Mr. President. His house is falling apart.
And I keep asking one question.
Or his house has fallen apart. Let's call it what it is. We have two speakers, we have two clerks. I really do not understand. There was an instruction or there was a directive saying that the assembly workers should work from home remotely. And there is another one countering that they should resume to work today.
Because there are two captains in the ship.
Are there no leadership? We have GAC, we have the party leadership, and the party chairman is not even saying anything.
It shows a lot about party politics and leadership in Nigeria, and of course bringing it down to Lagos State. The body language I'm getting mostly from like that party chairman in Lagos State that you mentioned is like everybody, they're just sitting on the fence waiting for the ultimate directive, and that is it.
There was a directive.
Which one?
There was a directive.
That's what?
You know, we hear different kind of things.
Yes, you know, so
some people now, they have burnt their hands, and now they are beginning to speak from the two sides of their mouth.
Yes.
Because the GSC is now saying they do not have the right to remove Obasa. That was not what was said
earlier.
Now.
Yeah.
So we really do not know. I just hope Baba will find time to come home and come and put Lagos State back to what it used to be. But, you know, it's not really good for the image of Lagos State. It's not really good for the people. You know, the business of lawmaking is suffering. And when you go towards that assembly this morning, all the security agencies have been deployed there.
Yes.
Over what? This life is vanity. Whether you like it or not, one day you leave power.
You can't be there forever.
It is well, oh. I didn't go your story.
Please, can you take yours? I don't know what's happening to mine.
Okay, you want me to take mine?
Yes, please.
Okay, still talking politics. Supreme Court judgment. Fubara orders local government chairman to hand over today. Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara has ordered the heads of local government administration to immediately take over the administration of the 23 local government areas pending the conduct of fresh elections by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. The governor also directed the outgoing local government chairman to formally hand over to the heads of local government administration by today. Fubara gave a directive in a statewide broadcast in Government House Port Harcourt yesterday in response to the Supreme Court judgment. This is the first time the governor will be speaking since last Friday's Supreme Court judgment, which nullified the state local government election conducted by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, as well as recognizing the Martin Amuewele-led 27 lawmakers as the authentic Rivers State House of Assembly members. The governor explained that the measure became imperative as a result of the outlawing of caretaker arrangement in the local government system of Nigeria. Fubara stated, and I'm quoting him now, furthermore, given the outlawing of caretaker arrangement in the local government system, I hereby direct heads of local government administration to immediately take over the administration of the 23 local government areas of Rivers State. I further direct the outgoing local government chairman to formally hand over the levelers of power to the heads of administration in local government. The governor said that although his administration disagrees with the judgment, it is bound to obey the orders made therein by the court as a law-abiding government. He further said, we are all aware of the recent Supreme Court judgment and pronouncement regarding aspects of the lingering political disputes in our dear state. Although we disagree with the judgment, we are bound to obey the orders made therein as a law-abiding government. Since inception, we have conducted the affairs of government within the framework of our Constitution due to the process of the rule of law. While we are not above mistakes because we are all humans, we believe that we have not as a government done anything deliberately to trample on the rule of law or the hallowed principle of constitutional governance. Accordingly, I have had a meeting with my team of lawyers and they have assured me that a certified true copy of the judgment may be available to them by Friday, 7th of March 2025. I assure you that upon the receipt of this judgment, we shall study the ramifications and implement them without reservations to move the state forward. The governor regretted that with the pronouncement of the court, the state appears to be back in trying times, but quickly called on the people and residents of the state to remain calm and peacefully go about their legitimate activities while the government continues to do everything in its power to advance good governance to our citizens. He said, and I'm quoting, although our dear state seems to be back in trying times, I advise everyone to remain calm and peacefully go about their legitimate daily activities as we continue to do everything in our power to advance our responsibilities to the citizens. Well, I really do not understand the statements of the governor here. You are telling the local government chairman to hand over to heads of administration in the 23 local government areas of Rivers State. And you are saying that you are disagreeing with the judgment of the Supreme Court. After the Supreme Court, is there any other court?
There's no other court.
So whether you agree or you disagree, you cannot appeal.
It doesn't mean anything.
Appeal to God.
You appeal to God to take control.
So, I don't know the implication of this judgment. I know that the facial expression of the governor yesterday while he was making that broadcast was not that good, because I think he was rattled by that judgment of the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, like I said, is the final bus stop. So you cannot appeal. And if indeed you want Rivers State to move forward, then you must comply with all the aspects of the judgment. So him saying that his lawyers are going to get the certified true copy of that judgment, to what extent? What is the implication of that?
Yeah, they want to get the full interpretation.
The law is the law, and you have to obey it as well. And I hope this will not trigger any kind of crisis before different factions. Different people have been speaking, saying that the Supreme Court judgment is not good for Rivers State. If they trigger any trouble, and a state of emergency is declared, before they know it, Mr. Fubara will be out of office.
Will be out of office. So I'm sure.
And that will settle it all.
I'm sure he's aware of that. So he's treading carefully. There's freedom of speech. He can say he doesn't disagree, but it doesn't mean he will do otherwise.
Yeah.
So, still aligned.
You still align with the Supreme Court judgment.
Okay.
Okay. Away from all the politicking.
Any good news?
Further hike in electricity tariff will be resisted. That's coming from the Nigerian Labour Congress, who have asked the federal government to jettison any planned hike in electricity tariff under any guise, threatening to lead mass resistance against such move. It also threatened to shut down operations of telecommunications companies should they fail to implement the 35% hike in tariff agreed with the government against the 50% earlier approved through the Nigerian Communications Commission. NLC, in a communique at the end of its National Executive Council meeting in Yola, Adamawa State, said members of NEC unequivocally rejected the ongoing reclassification of electricity consumers by the NERC, which seeks to forcibly migrate consumers from lower bands to Band A under the guise of service improvement, which it described as unjustified extortion of the masses. This systemic exploitation sanctioned by the Ministry of Power is nothing short of economic violence against the working class and broader Nigerian populace. It is evident that the ruling elite, acting as enforcers of global monopoly capital, are determined to further deepen the misery of the Nigerian people through incessant tariff hikes, increased taxation, and relentless economic strangulation. Whereas inflation has soared, wages remain stagnant, and the cost of living has become unbearable, the ruling class continues to transfer the burden of their fiscal irresponsibility onto the already impoverished working masses. NEC insertion was that any attempt to announce further electricity tariff increases will be met with mass resistance. Consequently, the Congress resolves to immediately mobilize for a nationwide protest should the Ministry of Power and NEC proceed with their exploitative plan to further hike electricity tariffs under any guise. I'll stop there. Last week, yes, we had the my brother, as Ajibola will call him, mentioned that for better service for those in Band C, Band B, C, and I don't know about it. I think it's Band B and C will be moved,
paying higher,
and to Band A, and they'll have to pay more to get better services. And I am saying, we are already on Band A. We are, let me say it in Yoruba, and Sufi. Because we still have the same salary. Everything is going up. Telecoms, electricity, food, medications. We are having to deal with all of these at the same time. And you're saying you're still going to move some people to Band A.
Aside from moving those on Band B and C to A, there are plans to also increase the tariff again. And then when you look at the purchasing power of Nigerians, the take-home pay of an average civil servant in Nigeria, fine, it was increased to 70,000 naira. But when you look at all these taxes coming from left, right, and center, then you have made a mess of the 70,000 naira. And so, in this light, I'm going to support Labour. Yes. But how they want to achieve that of the telecoms is what I don't know. Yeah. Because you cannot stop me from using my phone.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they are going to picket this telecom.
Then for the Honorable Minister of Power, why are you giving Nigerians options of Band A, B, C, or D. We are all Nigerians, and so we are entitled to
electricity.
That's why
it's not as if you are not doing us any favor.
Can we go back to when we were bandless?
No, but you know, these are just basic.
You are not
basic,
as a government. It is your duty.
You should provide some of these things. You know, electricity.
It should be pay as you use. That's how it used to be.
Yes, that's how it used to be.
People are paying more for transportation. They are paying more for food. The other time, Mr. President said the prices of food is coming down.
Ajibola, when I tell people how much I earn, they will like, how are you coping?
Yeah, but you have side hustle.
Ajibola, let's talk about what we know now. It's people like you that will allow telecoms and electricity to be increasing our tariffs. Sorry.
Honestly, I do not really understand the policy of this government, whether it is for the people or against the people. And when you're trying to make certain decisions, you should consider the purchasing power of Nigerians. Even those that are in business, they are complaining.
Everybody is feeling.
I don't know how people are coping, really.
And so who are those enjoying the dividends of democracy?
I don't know.
You know, it was mentioned here, the elite.
Even the elite.
The elite. The elite. I think this government is more for
the elite. Do they vote? Do they vote?
Ajibola, that is a topic. We will single that out for another day.
I hope this will make Nigerians have some kind of reasoning. Another election is around the corner. When they come before you and they dangle rice, 10,000 naira.
They will collect.
If you collect.
They will collect, Ajibola. They will still collect.
Why not demand for good governance instead of collecting stipend?
You know, people are hungry.
Hey.
They will collect.
Well. All right, that's our news point this morning. Let's quickly move to X and see what is trending there. The former governor of Rivers State and the Honorable Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, is the one trending today. And why is it trending? I'm sure you want to find out. There's no other reason other than that Supreme Court judgment of Friday, which recognized the Martin Amewele-led assembly as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Of course, the dissolution of local government in the 23 local governments of Rivers State. And then Mr. Wike actually had the praise and worship session after the Supreme Court judgment. What say you to that?
It's Thanksgiving, to give glory to God. It's Thanksgiving. He has the right to thank the Lord.
Thanksgiving for what?
When you have praise and worship session, it's Thanksgiving.
It's just this.
I would have expected him to, as an elder statesman of Rivers State, to be bothered that the Rivers State will not be getting its allocation again. And that will affect development in Rivers State in one way or the other.
I don't know. Nigeria is just, I don't know. I was really disappointed at that, you know. Why would, and you've said it earlier when we started the show, many of these politicians are just concerned about themselves.
And not about the people.
Yes, they're not looking at the bigger picture, the people they are representing. It's just a clear evidence that these people, you know, are just there for themselves. What is the meaning of all of that? What is wrong? I mean, I said I didn't want to talk about
it. The two of them find they're of the PDP, and somebody is of the PDP and the APC. But, you know, it was a war. It was a kind of supremacy battle between the two of them. And now the Supreme Court judgment is making someone feel like, okay, I've won the battle at the end of the day.
So is it that Fubara will now take the budget?
And
before those members of the assembly,
yes, he has
against the four which he earlier.
How can you present the budget before four members of the assembly?
He has to do it again.
You know, according to what he said this morning, he said he's law-abiding and all his actions have been tailored towards the rule of law. So I would expect him now to go humbly before these members of the assembly and represent the budget. If not, there will be no allocation to Rivers State. I know they have some IGR that they generate internally. Civil servants will suffer, local government staff will suffer, development will suffer, and there will be no provision of infrastructure. So I just hope that while Mr. Wike is still doing his Thanksgiving, he will be considerate enough to pray that the governor that he installed will be reasonable to comply with his judgment totally, so that the people of Rivers, who ultimately they are supposed to serve, will not suffer at the end of the day. I hope I'm right.
You're right.
You know, what many Nigerians are also
I know
saying,
sometimes when I look at the definition of democracy in this part of the world,
it is not what
they said
taught
it
us.
is the government of the people.
It is not what they taught us. It is not what they taught us in school.
It's just that's just what it is in your book.
But what we have seen playing out lately, it appears is not the government of the people. It's the government of the politician, by the politicians, and for the politicians.
You know what? You know, again, going back to Fubara and his concerns, he said the Supreme Court did not fully address the issue of defection. Yes, and which is his worry, because if he doesn't have majority, his legs are shaking. So what?
You know, those guys, those other members, really, they will be considerate.
I feel for him.
They will be considerate.
I just feel so sorry
and
for
sometimes
him.
when you have a godfather in politics, just obey what your godfather...
Especially if you got there through this godfather. Just maintain.
Remember, Fayose won. I know Fayose won him.
Yes, he did.
But somehow, maybe because of pressure or necessary demands, has been alleged, he just decided to look the other way and, of course, act like the governor of Rivers State. So we'll see how things will pan out in the coming days in Rivers politics. So that's what is trending. The Honorable Minister of the FCT with his thanksgiving over that Supreme Court judgment in Rivers State. We'll take a very quick break at this moment. We'll be right back on the show.